What's good, YouTubers and YouTubettes? This is JB Sports back again with another one. Hearn has gave his take on Andy Ruiz-Joshua 2 in Saudi Arabia. As you know, his son Eddie Hearn did a press conference 2 weeks ago in London saying that the fight would take place in Saudi Arabia. Got a lot of backlash. Now his dad, Barry Hearn, has come to his defense. He did an interview with Garrett Davis on Talk Sports Friday night. He did an interview with him, and he said that he said he expected to get some kind of backlash for staging a fight in Saudi Arabia, but that he had talked with his friend. I think the guy name is Kenny Perry. He's a guy that's involved in the PGA European Tour golf. And they say he had a tournament over there, and they didn't have any problems over there. And when you want to try to grow the sport globally, you take them to different places. And he said they've had cricket events over there, and as we know, they've had the WWE events. And Amir Khan, he fought over there recently against Billy Dibb and beat him. So they've had events over there. He said to grow the sport, you've got to have the event in different countries. The countries that you might not approve of everything they do in those countries. Human rights abuses. He said Saudi Arabia basically ain't the only place that has human rights abuses, have done things that have not been good for as human rights goes. He's basically saying that if you look over the 100 years in the UK, we've done things here that we're not proud of. So you can't hold that against countries that you feel are not doing things the quote unquote the democratic way. Countries that are abusing their citizens and countries that are involved in terroristic activities and stuff like that. You can't. If that's the case, it'd be a lot of countries that we will be not having events in. He said the part of growing your sport and putting events there, you've got to take it to places that you might not be approve of everything that's done in that country. That's basically what Barry said. So he's coming to the defense of Eddie Hearn. Barry Hearn, he's basically saying his son is, he said, I just wanted to come out, my son, and, he's doing a great job of running matchroom boxing. Yeah, but he's done such a great job of running matchroom boxing, and the event is happening in Saudi Arabia. Why is you coming out here trying to defend him, man? Obviously, people, it's been speculated that actually that Barry Hearn is actually the guy that's really running matchroom boxing, and I believe he might not be running the day-to-day operations of matchroom boxing, but he is the final say-so in matchroom boxing. Everything that Eddie does, he's got to be approved by his dad. Let's not get this twisted. When Anthony Joshua turned down that $50 million that Deontay Wilder team offered him for a fight in the U.S., Barry Hearn was the main person that got that fight killed. He killed that $50 million deal. He was the main one that decided to not, to convince Anthony Joshua not to take that money. Barry, I think Eddie went along with it too, and he didn't want. Don't get me wrong, he didn't want him to take the money either. But I think Barry Hearn was the main. Barry Hearn, Eddie Hearn, and Rob McCracken were the key guys behind getting AJ to turn that deal down. Maybe AJ didn't have any kind of say so. Maybe he thought, oh, this $50 million, I know they will let me accept this, man. It's more money than I ever made in my other fights. And then when he went back and tried to get them to okay it, man, they squashed it, and he had to go along with it because the contract that he has with Matchroom Boxing gives them exclusive power of attorney over who, where, and when he fights. And I think that's the case, man. That's the reason why that fight got killed. But Barry Hearn, like I said, did an interview recently, and he's put his 2 cents in on this situation. But the bottom line is, when your own State Department says it's not safe to travel to Saudi Arabia, you have a strong case to not go over there and fight in Saudi Arabia. So any court that if this thing go to court, litigation, this thing end up in court, they will Andy Ruiz and his team is sitting in a strong position to win in court. So I think, like I said in the earlier video, Eddie Hearn dropped the ball putting this fight in Saudi Arabia. He gave Eddie Ruiz that loophole, that out, a strong out, in fact, to not go over there and have a strong argument. Like I say, his own State Department said it's not safe to travel over there. You look at the U.S. journalist from the Washington Post, Khashoggi, went over there and got murdered. You look at the the recently they shot a missile over there at the airport in Saudi Arabia. Luckily, it was nobody harmed or killed over there, but they did attack an airport with a missile. You look at that. You look at 9/11 when they flew those 2 planes in the buildings in New York. 19 of the 21 terrorists were from Saudi Arabia. So they've got a long history, a long list, a lot recent history. We ain't talking about 100 years. Like Barry Hearn said, well, you look over 100 years of the UK, we've done a lot of things that we're not proud of. We're talking about stuff that happened in June, I think, that airport got attacked. So we talking about stuff that happened like, 2 months ago? So this is not just something that just, happened 80 years ago, 60 years ago. This stuff that happened 2 months ago. So we've got to take all that into account, man. So Barry Hearn has made his statement, and he's trying to defend the decision to put that fight over in Saudi Arabia. I don't think the fight's happening in Saudi Arabia based on not being safe to travel over there. And I think they're going to have that fight, either in New York, Madison Square Garden, or try to put that fight in Cardiff. I think that's where that fight will end up, either in Cardiff or New York, back where the first fight was. So we'll see how it plays out. Hopefully we'll have this announcement of the fight in the coming days. If not, we'll this thing will be happening. This fight will be taking place in a courtroom, unfortunately, and that'll end up putting both fighters on the shelf for an indefinite period of time. This is JB Sports, the man, the myth, the legend. I holla.